Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Grow with InVideo, where every week we get one member from the community to come sit with us so we can pick their brains and bring you a super actionable framework, a super actionable blueprint that you can implement for your business. My name's Abhilash. I lead the community here at InVideo, and I am your host for most of these shows, right? Today we've got a very special guest with us. She's a very dear friend. She's helped us a lot over the last few months. We work with her very closely. We've got Molly Mahoney in the house. She is the founder of the Prepared Performer. She's one of the leading experts when it comes to Facebook Messenger bots, as well as live streaming. But today we are going to primarily talk about Facebook Messenger bots. So this is a topic that we've found to be one of our key takeaways for 2020, if I have to say so, right? Because up until the beginning of 2020, we never even gave it a thought, and we never considered that we would actually be leveraging Facebook Messenger bots, although I've seen it in action before, right? This was one of the first few times where we actually could see the impact that a Messenger bot could bring to the table. And that's why we are currently in the process of setting one up for these live streams as well as we speak, right? But Molly is probably one of the best people to talk about this. There's so much that she knows. So without further ado, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to bring Molly in. Hey, Molly.
Hey, it is so good to be here. I am just thrilled. You're so awesome. And video is my favorite. It's so good.
Awesome. So I know we probably talk to each other at least 4 or 5 times in a month.
Yeah,
I think
at least.
yeah, we're pretty much going to and fro all the time. But I am so glad that we actually have you here for the rest of the community. And I'm so glad that I'm getting to pick your brains up out in the public so that everyone can learn from you. Right now, a word of caution for everyone who's watching us. Molly and I both have this tendency wherein we speak really fast, right? We openly admit to this. She's the only other creator that I know who basically talks at the same pace that I do. So I think this is going to be super fun for the two of us because I don't have to slow down for her. But for everyone else who's joining in, if you do feel like you're missing out on pieces, and if you basically want us to go over something else, please do drop in your questions in the comments window, and we'll make sure that we slow down and we address them. Okay.
Good point. And I believe if you're watching this in the replay, I believe that there are tools that you can use to slow the video down in the future. But I think that the faster we talk, the more information you'll get. So
Exactly.
it'll be good.
That's exactly the reason why I've gotten to the state in the first place, Molly. So that's not good encouragement for me right now. Because trust me, this happens internally with teams. This happens externally. So I am so glad that I'm getting to do this with you because I don't have to slow down with you. Okay, awesome. So before we even get to the deeper end of the ocean, I want to open today's show with the very foundational question of why everyone's talking about messenger bots today, right? I like you just came back from a conference with ManyChat where the who's who of the marketing world showed up, and I know how excited people were for the latest developments that they have, right? I remember I was working for an ad agency about 2-3 years ago, and I remember they implemented one for Netflix when Narcos had come in, and I did not even take it seriously. I thought it was more of a technological innovation, and they actually won an award and things like that for it, right? But today it's become almost mainstream, right?
Yeah.
Where
Almost.
Yeah, almost. Exactly, right? Because I think there are still some apprehensions with regards to, would you know how to code in order for you to be able to set it up? Are there some guidelines that will basically stop you from doing it for your brand and so on and so forth? And those apprehensions are very real because I have them. I know my entire team has it at InVideo. So this is more of a personal agenda for me to get Molly on the show. This is the fastest way for me to learn and address those inhibitions, right? So Molly, do you want to just kind of shed some light there and how messenger bots have kind of completely changed the game?
Yeah, I would love to. And I think it's something that's actually surprising for a lot of people because you're right, there are assumptions that we make in two ways. One is the first time I spoke at Social Media Week Austin, which was a couple years ago, a woman came up to me and said, so are these like the bots that messed with the election last time? I was like, no. So there are different types of bots. There's bots that happen like on Instagram. You'll see that there are like those comment bots that just pick out hashtag keywords and they randomly comment on your stuff, which some people like those. For me, I feel like, oh, it's kind of weird and a little spammy. We're not talking about that type of bot. We're also not talking about like, actual like hacking bots that are not good or like fake like bots. That's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about here is a way to actually have more conversations. So these, and to be very clear, more conversations with human beings. So it's kind of like a choose your own adventure book. So when you call someone and they're like, for option number 1, press 1. If you would like to talk to so-and-so, press 2. And it can go on forever before you actually get what you want. This is a way to see the options of what you want, get to the right place. And then if you want to get to a human, there's always a way to get to a human as well. Yeah. And we find that on our side, it helps us to pre-qualify. It helps us to serve our community at a higher level. And I love like coming from the ManyChat conversation, which it's so great that so many of you were there. It's so good to see so many of you that I know were there. Yeah. Mike, the co-founder of ManyChat, our favorite tool, he said that this is really about having more human conversations. So the bots can do a lot to speed up the process and to really serve our community, but we always want to drive to a human on the other side.
Yeah. So I couldn't agree more, because my entire perspective about how Messenger, like the role that Messenger bot played, changed this year. And that's why I said that there's a paradigm shift in terms of how we perceive them. Because initially I thought about it replacing human conversations, but it actually is not. And I know Kelly is someone that we've also worked with, and she keeps talking about the idea of frosting and what it can do to your bots, right? Because
the idea of what? Say it again.
The idea of frosting and
the ideal frosting, totally.
So basically what that means is that your Messenger bot will essentially have a personality, right? And you can actually give it any it's a natural extension of you. It's not really a substitute for you, but it's more like a sidekick that you have that helps you to kind of talk to more people and initiate more conversations and help more people find the right information. And it's post that if they still want to basically get access to you, because you can only speak to so many people at any given point in time.
Well, and that's like the main thing is once you start to actually grow your visibility, and even when it comes to comments in your videos, and I'm obviously very video focused, but if you have questions that are being answered, I even had a call with a client yesterday who has 2 business pages, and we've been focusing. They have one that's a service-based business that works more with honestly, like municipalities and government organizations. And then they have one that has a showroom and a shop where they sell products. And I hadn't been working on the higher level stuff in a while, but we had built a bot a long time ago. And yesterday she shared with me that we had set up an employment bot, like a way to hire new team members through their page. And she said, honestly, it still helps them so much, because if people can't, like they have a question about a form they're filling out, or they can't access something on the website that they want, it's a really easy way for them to click through and get the right information, and for her to sift through the comments and the questions, because it streamlines everything into a really nice flow.
Yep. So I wanted to establish the very reason as to why we are doing this live on Messenger bots upfront, so that people know that they would want to stick around to the end. Right? Okay. Number one, it's obviously it's actually helping you out as a sidekick to have more conversation. So in that sense, it's actually letting you bring in that human element a lot more frequently, as opposed to what you would be able to do. So contrary to popular belief, it's actually not substituting the human element. It's actually bringing in more of that, right? Number one. Number two, and this is more important, it is an insane way for you to actually kind of remarket things to people and kind of keep them in the loop and actually reach out to them on a platform like Facebook, where organic reach is dwindling to an extent that I can't even explain, right? So just to give you an example, this scheduled live, we've got about 15,000 people in the community. The reach for this scheduled live was about 500 people, right? And these are actual stats, right? Now, when you want to, but what you would want to make sure is that at least everyone on your community, or at least everyone who's come and watched some of your previous live streams, or anyone who's subscribed to your page, gets to know that you're doing a live session on Messenger bots, right? Now, that's not something that is interfering, or that's not something that is spammy in any ways whatsoever. In fact, you're doing them a service by actually letting them know of this, right? And then you're giving them an option on whether they want to come and attend it or not. But I think there is absolutely nothing wrong with you letting them know of this information. And I think messenger bots are a crazy, crazy effective way for us to do that. In fact, I want to highlight a very key stat here. Molly, when you do messenger bot campaigns, what is your typical open rate when you send out messages?
Yeah, I'm actually in there right now. So I was just thinking it'd be fun to go check. I'm just going to be honest with you right now that I scheduled a bot to go out this morning. And it looks like I somehow didn't actually send it, which is very odd. So there you go. I was going to go check on it and somehow it never actually went out, which is such a sad thing. But if I'm looking back at our open rates, I'm actually pulling it up and I'm scrolling back. We have, there was a time recently where I messaged the ManyChat team because I thought there was an issue with my reporting because we had 100% open rates again and again and again. And I was like, wait, I think something's wrong. And he's like, no, you just have 100% open rates. So if you're sending, it's crazy because people will actually, they're way more likely, even if you think in the amount of volume that they get email wise compared to the amount of volume they get messenger wise, it's insane the difference. Yeah. And there's all different types of broadcasts that you can send. So depending on how targeted it is, ours are anywhere from usually around 80 to 100%, which
is insane.
It's amazing.
My best open rates on emails are somewhere around 20%. And that is for my best performing cohort. So these are people who paid us and who have who are super active on the platform, right? If I have to talk about people who've never done that, who are super new to the community or who are super new to InVideo, that'll drop down to about 5%, right? So compare that to 80% is just mind-boggling. That means that and that's essentially one of the reasons why we are setting up a bot. And these are all real life cases. These are real life numbers. So those are the primary two reasons why we are doing this. And even if you are slightly apprehensive about setting up bots because of all the other reasons, we will address that in like the next 45 minutes. But I think that should set the stage in terms of why you would want to at least consider setting a messenger bot for your business.
Yeah. Amen. Right? Yes. Okay. I totally agree.
So before I get to the use cases, I just wanted to quickly welcome a couple of members here. There are a few old timers. I think you know a few of them. So we've got Bridgetti. She's an old timer. She comes up, supports us all throughout. We've got Melody. She was on the show last night with us, where she actually took us through a video that she created. So thanks a lot, and we'd love for you to share your notes with us. We've got Payal, who's basically handling the comments right now. We've got Kate. She's again been super consistent with coming and joining us. She is apparently she has attended your ManyChat conference event and she absolutely loved it. I don't see why not. I'm sure that could have been an absolutely stunning session there. Okay, so that I think we've broadly covered the comments. I wanted to quickly jump into the different kinds of use cases. So I know we've brushed upon the subject, but you work with clients left, right, center, right? You've seen all kinds of use cases set up. I have already established one use case, which is if you are doing live video content, you can essentially set up a messenger bot to send people alerts on your live videos, so you can have more people actually join in live or actually catch the recording, right? That's one use case. Can you tell us a bit more? Can you tell us a few more use cases?
Yeah, so we have a couple of different things that I would love to share. One is if you're looking to book more, well, first of all, I just want to clarify, we talk a lot about sending broadcasts out, but that's really one of the, that's a great strategy to use with messenger bots, but it's not the most powerful. There are so many other powerful ways that you can be using messenger bots to have these conversations, because there are other ways that you can bring people into the chat conversation. And so I just would love to share some of those. So you can have a pop-up on your website, for example, that is sending someone to some sort of free gift or to book a call. We even have a link that, because you can create a link that someone clicks on and then they automatically get brought into chat. You want to be really careful about the conversation, like the way that you explain that. So they know that then when they click on that button, they're going to be brought into the chat conversation. But you can do it to deliver a free gift. You can do it to bring someone into your Facebook group. You can do it to start like an assessment type of thing for them to apply for a call. There are all sorts of things that you can do with that.
Get them to take some form of action.
Right. So I don't know when we want to get into some of the rules, but there are some compliance rules where you're not allowed to just send a broadcast out at any time. So we always make sure that we're getting email and phone number within the chat so that we can reopen that conversation. So basically the way that it works, which a lot of people, when this change happened, they got angry and they freaked out. I actually think this change is something that is good for us because people were getting really spammy with their messenger bots. And when that happens, that's when the email, that's when the open rates go down. That's when the experience is ruined for all of us. Yeah. So there are some things that I'll show you that you can put into place to help with that. But basically what you want to be doing is reopening the conversation. And the rules within Facebook are, if you want to send a message to your community who has subscribed to your messenger bot, they have to have engaged within 24 hours, which means they must have sent you a message. They must have clicked a button that opened up a message. And there are so many ways that you can actually reopen that engagement so that you can message them, more frequently.
Sorry, I'm actually going to pause you there for a second because this is news to me, right? So what you're doing is that categorically, if I have to, let's say, send an alert for this particular live stream to people on the messenger bot, right? I can only send it to people who've interacted with some or the other form of content that I have put out over the last 24 hours. I can't actually send it to anyone else.
So that's one way, is if they've opened up the 24 hours, there's a few other ways you can do it. The other way is something that is called an OTN or an OTNR. And an OTN or an OTNR was possibly the most discussed feature at the ManyChat conference because a lot of people are confused about it. So just know that if you have questions about it, this, for whatever reason, is something that I understand to the depths of my soul. I don't know why. And I know it can be a little confusing. So I will slow down when I talk about this. So an OTN, and I'll actually show you how it works. I can screen share it when we get to that part. But an OTN is a one-time event reminder. And it's a one-time notification, is what it stands for. So one-time notification. My friend Mackenzie Lieberman described it this way yesterday, and I'm going to use this metaphor all the time. So it is basically like when someone clicks on the OTN button, Facebook gives them a token, like they're at an arcade game. You can then use that token to send them a message. So if someone clicks it 5 times, you can now send them 5 messages about that topic.
Okay, got it.
So they have to actually click that very specific button. And like if you're doing let's say you're doing a challenge, right? So can I talk about our challenge?
Yeah.
Okay. So we may be doing a challenge about how to repurpose your videos within video later this month. And for that challenge, there will be 3 main videos. If you want to get a reminder about all 3 of those videos, all you have to do, you as the user, you just click the button 3 times, like boop, reminder for number 1, boop, reminder for number 2, boop, the little token is sent out. That way, what's happening is Facebook is just getting approval saying this person really wants to get this message, and it prevents people from being spammy.
Got it. So you can essentially send this for any event. So for example, if I want to, again, get everyone on my community, if I want to send an alert to everyone on my community, I'm not specifically talking about people who engaged with my content over the last 24 hours, right? If I want to basically do it for people outside of that window, do I have to get them to actually click on the OTN button and then I'll be able to do that?
Yes. So they'd have to click on the OTN, or the other way is that you can actually send a sponsored message. So a sponsored message is a message that you can send to anyone on your subscriber base inside ManyChat. And it's just like a Facebook ad, but it shows up in Messenger. So you may have gotten a message that says sponsored write really tiny on the top of it. And that means that they actually paid for that. Now, what we've noticed is the messaging, the price for those sponsored messages is so low. And what you're paying is only for the people who click the button. So you're going to pay per click that you get. So we've noticed it's like 3 cents or something per person who reopens the conversation.
Got it.
It's awesome. There's a couple other, and just to be clear, because some people may know, there are a couple other messenger tags like the confirmed event reminder and stuff, but I will say very loudly right now, people have been getting their Facebook Messenger account limited because they've been using that confirmed event update incorrectly and they've been breaking the rules. So Facebook has been cracking down really hard on it. So I used to recommend that you would use the confirmed event update. So did Kelly. We both are now saying only use the OTN. And we had a great conversation with Mike about this yesterday. Yeah. And he said he thinks, that the Facebook AI compliance bots are really up right now because here in the States, we have the election coming up. So they are really being careful to make sure people aren't breaking the rules, and that the hope is over the next couple of months, we'll get that sorted out and we won't always have to use the OTNs, but we're recommending that full stop to be safe.
Got it. So as of now, there are only these 3 safe, legally allowed ways for you to basically get people to subscribe to these messages, right?
Yeah. And keep in mind though, with that first one where you have to unlock that 24-hour window, there are hundreds of ways that you can unlock that 24-hour window. So from a QR, like even a QR code where someone scans a QR code, that can open the bot. A text message, they click on the text message, that can open the bot. An email, they click on it. A post where they comment below. There's so many ways to do it. So,
got it. Yeah. So, okay. So Molly, I'm actually going to take my example because it's a fairly simple example for people to understand, and at the same time, it has some very severe ramifications because the impact of what you're going to kind of show us today will be very severe, right? Because right now, as I said, I have got, so let's say for example, at any given point in time, I put out content on my Facebook community, which kind of reaches about 500, 600 odd people who are live at that point in time, right? Yeah. The net number of people who are live and active on that point in time is about 10,000 people. But Facebook's organic reach is messing around with us to an extent where it only gets seen by about 500, 600 odd people, right? And then it can pick up at sometimes and go up to 1,000, but that's the extent of where it can go, right? So
now, where is that right now? I think we have some tricks we could show you.
100%. But I'm saying given the current situation, so let's say, for example, 1,000 people see it, but I know that only about, let's say, about 50 odd people will interact with it in any way whatsoever. So does that mean that I can actually, just taking the first rule, can I only go after those 50 people that have actually interacted with my content in that 24-hour window?
So it's people who have actually clicked inside who have messaged your business page. So when I say interacted, it's people who have actually sent a message to your business page or they've clicked a button that sends a message. I would love, so somehow I didn't send the broadcast I meant to send out this morning. We can screen share and I can send the broadcast while we're live right now to show you how it works. Would that be helpful?
Yeah, that'll actually be helpful. But just before we get there, I'm actually trying to understand the mechanism and the other side of the equation. So if I understand this correctly, and I'm sorry if this appears super dumb, but I'm
it's sure not. This honestly, it's so tricky. So if you want to send it right now, what I would do, and I already installed it on the InVideo page, so we can actually create it for you right now on this training. So what I would do is I would create what is called a messenger ref URL. So it's a link that you would send to your email community or on I love how the InVideo page has the little pop-up on the top that says if you want access to whatever, you'd put this to the show with Steve, you'd put that link on the InVideo page so people can click on it to get those reminders. And when they click on it, then they're sent a message inside Messenger that unlocks the 24-hour window. When they click, they have to click or respond to a button on that once they get in there. I'll show you that part.
Oh, got it.
And so then that OTN can be in there. So they can both unlock the 24-hour window and they can click the OTN. It's the best way to think about it is it's like a double opt-in. So if you think about an email, like if someone opts into your email address, technically for most communities, legally, they're supposed to do the double opt-in.
Yeah. So, okay, awesome. So I have a much better understanding of this. So
tricky.
Basically, what you're saying is, let's say I send out an email to my entire audience set, right? Which is something that I'm currently doing anyway. We have a weekly marketing email that goes out for all of our shows, right? Now, when that goes in, and anyone who clicks on the messenger link, the messenger referral link, they basically come to the messenger experience. The messenger experience opens up, and then they can technically opt in to get a reminder.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, what I'm trying to get at is, what about all of those people from my email list who actually did not do that, or possibly did not see the email, or they probably saved it for a later point in time, or because of whatever reasons the email did not get delivered, right?
Yep.
Okay, so a lot of the people on my community are not on my email list, for example, right? Because they are actually members of the community. They're not necessarily InVideo users, so we don't have their email addresses. In that case, is there a way for us to basically tap into people who have opted in on my previous live stream? So let's say about 20 odd people opted in on my messenger experience, and they actually gave me that 24-hour window on my yesterday's live stream with Melody, right?
Yep.
Do I automatically have the permission to send them a broadcast or send them a message for today's live stream, or do I have to do something to be able to?
So to be clear, if they opted into your live stream, that would mean they had to actually message your business page.
Yeah.
Right? So they message the business page, that unlocked the 24-hour window. You can send them anything you want.
But what happens after the 24-hour window?
So the cool thing is ManyChat will segment it. So it will tell you, and I can show you how you can see it. ManyChat will show you, okay, you'd call it a promotional message, and they'll say, great, you can send it to 20 people because only 20 people are in that 24-hour window. Whoever's in that 24-hour window, it will tell you that you can send it to them, whether you can send it to them or not. If not, you can also send a sponsored message. So anyone who's been inside your ManyChat, you can send a sponsored message to them. Or you could also do the people who have engaged or liked or whatever, followed on your business page, to do a retargeting ad to those people, getting them to get in there and click the OTN and unlock that window.
So this question might seem a little dumb, right? But
Not
is there no way for us to basically get someone to sign up on the messenger experience in a way where we can just keep sending them recurring messages for every time we have a live stream? We can't.
So it used to be like a month ago, I firmly really believed you could use the confirmed event update tag. Kelly and I had slightly different opinions about it. Kelly thought very strongly that you can only send it for each. If they opted in for this show, you could send it for that. What I was teaching at the time, up until about a month ago, was that anyone who clicked that confirmed event button saying they wanted to get your live video reminders, you could message them every time.
Got it.
I've talked to Mike about it. He said he thinks it's compliant. The problem is we haven't gotten clear answers from Facebook. And Kelly and I both have had clients, and Mackenzie have had clients who got a warning from Facebook. We got a warning also saying that you're not using the messenger tags correctly. But if you go look at the tags, we are completely following the rules. So it seems like if you read the rules, it seems like you should be able to do what you just said. But we have seen people get in trouble for it. So we're not recommending it as of right now.
Got it.
I had one client who was like, I don't care. They're saying, like, I'm not that worried about it. Let's just send it and see what happens. Legit, within 24 hours, he got a warning from Facebook. And I was like, I told you, So, yeah.
Okay, got it. So basically, you can use all of your channels. You can use emails. You can use retargeting ads. You can use all of that to basically send them to your, using the referral link, to send them to your messenger experience for that particular event, and then get them to opt in, and then you can basically send them a reminder. You can send them show notes. You can do all of that.
Yep,
right?
Exactly.
Yeah, and you should just probably stick to that, and then you can keep building your audience pool. But so here's the caveat, right? When I actually hear this entire setup, the way that I'm looking at this is that this is drastically different from how you build an email list, because this does not compound. What I mean by that is, if let's say, for example, about 200 odd people opted in for notifications on this particular live stream, then I can't actually tap into that audience set for my next live stream. I have to again build that from the ground up. Is that correct?
So, ish, because if they've already opted in, you can have them added to a custom audience on Facebook. So there's ways that you can, like, we have ads that are going out for $1 a day on several different videos. Every time someone clicks a certain button inside ManyChat, they're automatically added to a custom audience on Facebook. So you're adding them in there. The other thing is, as long as, and this is really what my session was about at Conversations, is that once you get them in there, as long as you're re-engaging and reopening the conversation, it's not like they disappear. It's that they're wanting to have the conversation again and again and again. So
every time they click a button within the Messenger app, you actually have another 24-hour window with them.
Yep. And when I show you this screenshot, you'll see, like, our main goal also is to make sure that we're building our SMS list through ManyChat, which it's all combined. So the broadcast, I want to send at some point soon so we can actually get people, we can see the difference, like what happens when they actually show up here. But so we can send the broadcast out, and then it'll send a text broadcast. When they click a button, it opens in Messenger automatically. It's all in the same flow. I need water.
Got it. Why don't you actually share your screen? So, okay, so I have a fair understanding of how this pans out.
I mean, I will say, Abhilash, to like be super clear, the heyday of being able to send messages all the time to anyone has definitely passed. Like, you know, and that's a good testament to being an early adopter.
Yeah.
It used to be that I could send 5,000 messages out at one time with no thing. Then about a month ago, I was able to send like 1,600. And then as of now, it's like sometimes I can send, 10, sometimes I can send 50, sometimes I can send 400, depending on how many people actually re-opt in. So
but I think it's still a major markup as compared to, everything else that you're doing, right? So for example, I know that, so you can't entirely just rely on Facebook to be able to get people to click on that link, because again, that's restricted by the amount of organic reach that you have, right?
Yeah.
So the way that I'm looking at this is that if I have to actually take this back to the drawing board, I'd say, okay, one, I'll put a post on the community letting people know that, hey, we are basically going to do this live stream, let's say next Tuesday, right? Here's the link. You can actually get a reminder within Messenger, go and actually sign up for this, right? I think about 30, 40 odd people will do that there. Then I'll take a step back and I will essentially go to my other channels, so which is my social media platforms. I'll go to my email and I'll basically send that link out there so that I get another 200, 300 odd people there to actually opt into the Messenger experience, and they get a reminder. And then the last mile of this entire process could be that I would actually run ads to that custom audience, right? All of the people who are basically opted into my Messenger experience for any of my live streams before, I can add them to a custom audience, and I can then run a remarketing ad with the link for the new live stream to them, so that I basically tap into that as well, and I get another 50, 100 links, 50, 100 people registering for this particular live stream, right?
Yeah, and it's really, the goal is that you're reopening the conversation.
Correct. Got it.
Yeah.
And, the fourth and the ultimate way, obviously, is that you can run ads on Messenger. So if after doing all of this, if I feel like not enough people have actually entered that flow, I can just basically do a sponsored post and I can, send it to everyone on my audience list, right? So I'm assuming that a sponsored post can basically run to my entire audience set, right?
It can, and you can also do it for segmented groups of your audience set inside ManyChat. The only other caveat for that is that it has to be early enough, because the sponsored messages aren't time sensitive. So like if I'm doing a show in an hour and I create a sponsored message, it has to go through the review process with Facebook, which can take 24 hours.
Any other ad.
Yeah.
Got it. Awesome. I think I've already gotten my money's worth with this.
I mean, it can be tricky. I'd love to show. So I already sent the broadcast, and I'll go back and walk through it, and we'll see the stats afterwards after I sent it. So I'd love to show an infographic that I have that walks through our main flow for how to do this. And it's cool because what we're doing, actually, we're able to use in video pieces throughout this flow. So let me show you.
While Molly's doing that, I just wanted to highlight that we've already covered so much ground because we've established why bots are important to you. We've established the different use cases that you can leverage it for. And three, I've actually asked some very, very fundamental, seemingly dumb questions, which I think will benefit the larger community, because I know there are at least about 100 people that I know of who don't understand this basic mechanism. Because once you understand this, I think everything else from your kind of gets super simple. Like
and the problem is people don't understand this part of it, and then they get in trouble, and then they get mad. Like, we have a client who I love who ended up, after working with us for, I mean, it's probably 2 years. We built bots for her for about 2 years. She hired a team member. We trained her team member to create bots. And her team member has been in our Facebook group. And when these changes went out, I went super loud in our group, like, everyone in this group, initial, let me know that you've seen this. I've done videos explaining it. And she messaged me last week or so and was like, oh my gosh, we got this warning from Facebook. And I said, yeah, we did a video explaining this stuff. And like, you have to change the way that you're sending your messages. It's super important to understand. Yeah. Then she, just to finish that story, she really quick, she messaged me yesterday and was like, oh my God, our whole messenger bot got shut down. And I said, have you been sending broadcasts? And she was like, well, yeah, just our normal broadcasts. And I said, my heart sunk. And I mean, she's not a paying client of ours anymore, but she's a good friend and someone who we did such awesome stuff for her, and like that she's been using and doing these awesome videos. And I said, like, we've been chatting inside the group, and she said it was my assistant who was chatting with you. She was in my office and asking questions about it, but her assistant didn't really take the time to understand it like you just did. And then they got their whole page shut down. So know that it's important to really understand those fundamentals.
Got it. Okay. I've seen this before, right? This is Molly's very, very famous Maps to Millions framework. But yeah, okay, I'm going to delegate the floor to you. Why don't you just take us through this?
Excuse me. So this is our main, the plan that we use every week. It's based on the APR method, which is announce. So like, tell people the show's happening. Pretend. So when you pretend, means that you have a one-on-one conversation, just like Mr. Rogers did in his videos, asking for engagement, making it a conversation in your live video. So even if people aren't there, and then from there you repurpose. And so I have another slide I'll show you in a little bit where we talk more about repurposing, a lot of which we do within video. So everything that we're doing on the left-hand side is how we're getting people to the video. But what happens is we do a post where people comment below that post. And when they comment below, they're sent that message that we've been talking about, where they click that little button that says, yes, I want to be reminded.
Got it.
Then once that we're actually live, we offer the show notes to people who comment below with the show notes. So, I mean, with whatever word we give. So I'll say, like, so lucky is the phrase for today. Say so lucky below this video. When they do that, the bot replies automatically. It gets their email address, their phone number, and the OTN, so that they can maybe be reminded in the future if they want to do that. And then we give them a free gift, which is the show notes, sometimes access to a training or a book or whatever. And we deliver the show notes inside our Facebook group. So where it says build real relationships, that piece happens inside our Facebook group as well, which is super fun and awesome.
Got it. So I actually want to run through the steps here. So when you start with a Facebook ad, let's say, for example, you tell them to so the ad itself runs on a post, because you actually cannot run an ad on a Facebook scheduled live.
Exactly. And that was like the whole magic in discovering this. So the reason we call it the Map to Millions is because we had a video that hit a reach of 1 million because we used this process. And when you pre-schedule your Facebook Live, you can't actually do an ad with it until after it's live. Yeah. And so, excuse me, we now grab a post and we create a post where people comment below that post in order to get access to the Facebook Live. And that way we can drive traffic to the Facebook Live ahead of time before it even happens.
So that's via the ad, right? You ask them to basically comment for access, and then the bot, then they get sent the link to the messenger experience. And when they opt in, they get a link to the scheduled live.
Yep. Can I show another screen? Is that possible if I show another screen? Because I can show you an example.
Yeah.
How do I do that? So I'm going to stop this one. And then share screen.
While you're doing that, I'm actually just going to skim through the comments here. If
okay. And I do have blue streaks in my hair. It's not your screen, for the person who asked that question.
Okay, I missed that question, but if that's there, I'm definitely going to pull that up on the screen. Okay.
There's purple in my hair too. This is my COVID hair because usually I have it done professionally, but I've been doing it myself, which has actually been working. But
yeah, I wouldn't compare, Molly. I mean, I think compared to the kind of hair that I have, compared to the kind of hair that my teammates
I'm
have,
actually super proud of. I mean, I'm like proud of myself. There's purple in my bangs too. It's kind of fading right now, but I'm fairly proud of myself. Okay, so this is a post, and this post I actually did a little bit differently than usual. We've been experimenting with some different things, which has been kind of cool. So on this post, I was able to do a video with my amazing, most favorite author, Gay Hendricks, and this post explains, the problem that we're solving. It says, you want to join to get a reminder? Let us know below, or grab your reminder here. So when they click this, and I can actually put this in the chat if you want to see what this looks like. This will give you a good idea from the user point of view. Can I put it? Yeah. I can't do that.
You can actually just put it on the calendar for us, and then I can just put it up.
So, we make the link super easy to remember, molly.live/remind me. If they click on that, it does exactly the process I just explained to you. The other thing is they can comment below this post. So they can comment and say, looking forward to seeing this. And you'll notice anything they say here, they get a response. Do you see how it says see response? That means that they were sent a message inside the inside Messenger where they were able to click the button to get the OTN.
Got it. So for guys, you can actually go to this link and just check out the experience, because you will actually be able to go through the entire flow. But Molly, let's do this, right? Do you want me to just hop onto that link and just kind of show people what happens?
Sure. Yeah. Are you okay? Because it's going to show your personal messenger. So just make sure you don't have anything.
I think that shouldn't be a problem. I think most of my messages are with you, with Kelly, with. So I don't
like my gifts.
That, Okay, so this is going to open up. Just give me 1 second.
I'm not sharing. Do you want to share?
Yeah. Just give me 1 second. Okay, this is opened up. I'm not going to be able to see my own screen, so you'll just have to be my guiding post there.
Okay.
Okay, awesome. So this is the chat window. Okay, so this is the first message that comes in, right?
Yep.
Okay, so
this example is a very generic example. Sometimes we do it where it's very specific about the person whose show we're coming on, but we've been playing with different ways to make it easier. So this is a very generic one.
Got it. So if I click on get reminders.
Oh, can you remove the link from the screen because we can't see the bottom?
Oh,
you have the molly.live/remind me.
Oh, okay. Got it.
You might need to come back. Yeah, sorry.
I'm going to stop sharing my screen so that I can take that off. Just give me 1 second. Okay.
Perfect.
Okay, we're back to the messenger experience. So I click on
this piece right here might look a little different to some of you because it has that header that's like in the bold face, like get notified for Facebook rules. Please click to confirm below. Please click confirm.
Okay, so
I think I
click on notify?
You have to click notify. That is the OTN. So when they click notify, so click notify me.
So that's a necessary step. I can't skip that.
Correct.
Okay.
When you've done that, now it's going to say that you're set for the reminder. And now the other thing is instantly I'm like, yippee, right? And then it says, please confirm your email address by typing or clicking on it below. So now I'm moving you onto my email list as well when you click that.
So I do. Okay. So does this get added up on ManyChat? Like, do I actually have access to this email address outside of the messenger experience?
Yes. And actually, usually I realized I don't have my GDPR compliant thing on that right now. I've been playing around with things. So that should say, please confirm your email address below. It will also keep you updated via email just for GDPR, which I do right afterwards, but I should say it before that.
Got it. So basically, if you want to send them any other additional communications, then you would want to just let them know about that.
Yeah, but which I need to change that. Yeah.
Agreed. But I'm saying that the fact that, so there are two advantages to this. One is the fact that you can, as you said before, you can add this to a custom audience set that you can retarget later. Correct?
Yep.
And I'd want you to just show me that quickly, in about 5 minutes. But the other advantage is that this gets added to ManyChat, and then you are actually moving people to your email list, so you can target
And it
them.
all happens automatically. So I have mine connected to my ConvertKit account. I don't have to do anything. They're automatically, you should be sent an email right away.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then check this part out. So right now they are actually opening other countries. This was a big discussion at the conference as well. The reason that it varies on who you can actually text is because it costs different things in different places.
Yeah.
So right now I just have US and Canada written on mine because it's very confusing how many countries are actually able to do this, but I know you're obviously not in the US or Canada, but if you click yes, watch what happens with that. So this is saying that you want text messaging. It'll actually ask for your phone number. Your phone number auto generates. When you put that in there, it automatically opts you in for SMS, and it lets us have your phone number too.
Oh, okay. Got it. And how does the messaging service work? So do you need I'm assuming you need a third-party vendor to be able to do that,
Nope.
right?
And I have it pulled up right now to show you how it works.
Okay. I'm just going to stop my screen and come back to you.
Okay. Awesome. And I'm going to refresh mine because I just did it. Okay. And it takes the other thing that is like a little tricky is that it takes some time in order for these messages to actually, the text messages to actually be sent. So I'm going to show you the message right here. Can I screen share?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's an example of what I sent today. Application window.
Yeah, can't see your screen.
Yeah, I haven't put it up yet. Hold on one second. Sorry. Okay. So this is an example. You can see it now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you can send a text message right here. So actually, let's just start from the beginning and I will just create a brand new one. So when you create a new broadcast, you can choose, do you want it to be a text message, an email, or multiple channels? So I'm going to just pick text message because that's the first message that I want to send for this. So then I can put my text in here. Hey, click this, right? And then I can put a link. So when I do my live videos, I usually include a link to the actual video, but you also can do it where you send a message to open in Messenger. So when I clicked open in Messenger, now it's going to go to this send message option is going to be the next thing that happens. So I can either choose to send a message, I can perform an action, which means I can tag them, I can do these different things, or I can set up a condition. Like if they're, if they're subscribed to one thing, like if they're a member of our program, we could send them one message. If they're a member of another program, I could send them another message. There's all these different things I can do here. Let's say that I actually just want to send them.
Let's say you want to send them the link to the live directly on message.
In Messenger or on the text?
No, on the text itself. So they can click that and directly hop over to your scheduled live on Facebook.
Yep. So if you want to do that, you would just remove that link and you'd click add link. And then we always create rebranded links. So like if I wanted to send someone to a video that I did about in video, I have it memorized and I know it's molly.live/make it easy. And I can then that is done. And when they click on that, it will send them to our video on Facebook. The other thing is you can add the action, and this action, I love to add these actions that say like clicked in video SMS. Already right there. And that way it's like double letting me know who has actually clicked it so I can keep an eye on how it's working.
Got it. So I'm assuming that you can only send this to the people who have actually opted in for SMS notifications, right?
Correct. So what happens on the next page, it will say people who have opted in for SMS and you have their phone number. So we have about 5,000 people who have subscribed over time that are still active subscribers in our bot. We have 1,266 people who have actually opted in for SMS.
So you can send this to all of them?
As long as they have said, yes, they want SMS messages. And we're also...
So the 24-hour window does not apply to this?
Yeah. What?
The 24-hour window does not apply to this?
It does not apply to this. Correct.
Oh, okay. That's incredible because do you have a similar flow for emails as well?
Yeah. So we have, So yes, we actually use ConvertKit for most of our emails. We've just started using emails in here. Like I can show you, we
That's
have,
okay.
that's okay. Yeah.
What,
But you
what,
can
what
do
I'm trying to understand is that just as you actually sent out an SMS, so this entire SMS setup actually goes via ManyChat itself, right? It's not
Yep.
like you have to use an external vendor or an external provider. But
Correct.
when it comes to your emails, I'm assuming that you can download the dump of emails and then put them onto your email service provider and then send it from there.
Yeah. So we don't even have to do that because it's automatically connected.
Yeah, I know, but I'm talking about like most cases. Like if someone's not comfortable doing that, like for
They could
example,
download their emails and upload them separately. Yeah.
yeah, but again, there is no restriction there in terms of the fact that hey, you can just send it to people who have engaged with your bot in 24 hours. It's
Yep.
basically sending it to everyone.
Yeah.
Got it. Got it. So that's super awesome. So it's just basically restricting you from broadcasting messages on Messenger for that 24-hour window. It's
Yeah.
not like it's restricting you from reaching out to all of these people within that time frame.
Correct. So the main thing is you want to really be omni-channel. This is not about just only having one place that you talk to. It's about a full experience. Like you have on our website, if you go to cameraconfidence.today, you can see on the bottom right-hand side, there's a little thing that pops up. You can chat right in there and it brings you right into the conversation inside ManyChat. So you're actually chatting through Messenger, even though you're on our website.
Got it. Got it. I know that experience has been implemented by a lot of people. So we unfortunately can't do that because we've got a custom chat support window, which is super active, right? We cater to about 500 odd conversations in a day.
Yeah,
But,
crazy.
yeah, that the perils of having a 24/7 live chat support window. But this has been super useful, Molly. So I'm actually not getting into like the implementation bit until I make sure that people understand the ramifications of what they can and they can't do with the bot.
Yeah.
Because I think that's more important because once you've realized that, I think you can actually go and look up tutorials of ManyChat and set the fundamentals up. But we've got some time, and I don't mind this going 5 or 10 minutes over our scheduled time. But could you actually just very quickly show us the foundational building blocks of ManyChat? So just start from blank canvas and just show us how it is to build a bot there.
Yeah. So let's and the only thing is I have to end right at 11, which I don't usually have to do.
Yeah,
I can keep going, but my niece is here and she's leaving and I have to
don't worry about it.
we
We'll just spend a quick 5 minutes on this and we'll move over.
Totally. So okay, so here's what you're gonna do. If I can screen share. Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so for in the 5 minutes that we have over here on the left-hand side, you'll see there's like the dashboard, the audience, the growth tools, the live chat, all these different things. You want to click on automation, and then there's this flows section. So ManyChat is really big right now on moving everything into the flows. And this is my actual dashboard. Now, I've been using this for several years, and we've finally started actually using some really great organization here. When we set things up with clients, it's organized from the very beginning, right? But so we have this map to millions. This is what we use for our clients, is this system in here. And you can see there's these different pieces here. So this is a template that we use for that OTN. So the Flow OTN live video reminder here, right? This is actually the whole thing that I just that you saw on the other side of yours.
Can you zoom into that?
What'd you say?
Can you just zoom into that a bit so that becomes more visible? I think this should just pretty much explain everything there is.
And I'll show you how to build something like this from scratch really quick, but
this should suffice, Molly. So the element, so everything is drag and drop. So that's fairly simple, guys. We will put in a few video links for you to kind of get a hang of that. But I think
there's a starting step. The starting step is how they actually come into the bot. So we have two starting steps. One is a ref URL, which is that link like I shared with you. The other is a Facebook comment growth tool. You can add multiple triggers. So I could add a full landing page if I wanted to. Like I can add all of these different things, a keyword. I can add something to Shopify. I can add a pop-up on my website. All of these different things can connect to the same flow. Then here, this is that same message that you saw, right? They're going to be tagged confirm live reminders in the hopes that at some point we will be able to use those regular messaging tags again.
Yep.
Then this is where that OTN is, which is super weird. You have to actually set the OTN up in the settings ahead of time. But if you try to create it here and it doesn't work, it will tell you go to the settings. You have to turn it on. You have to actually give your page permission. So in the Messenger settings on your page, you just turn the OTN settings on. It doesn't take time. You just have to turn it on.
Yep.
And then here, they're going to get this message next, and I'm going to edit this right now for that GDPR stuff that I should have caught. Please confirm your email address below. We'll also keep you updated on biz breakthroughs. I'm not your lawyer, but that is more compliant. Okay, and then here you wait for the reply. So that's where the email would come in. Now, I don't have this set up on this one, but because this is just a little template, but what we would do is at this point, you add an action, which is, we use ConvertKit. So ours is a ConvertKit action.
Yep.
And we automatically subscribe them to a form or add a tag, whatever you want to do. So if I subscribe them to a sequence, I have a sequence that is the Facebook Live planner.
Mm-hmm.
It's UIA. Okay. So now at this point, I can automatically add in, whoops, I'm like putting my first name. I can automatically add in these fields from within ManyChat that are sent to, right into the whole, like they're sent right to ConvertKit. So all the information that I had from somebody in here automatically sent to ConvertKit. I can also at that point automatically export it to a spreadsheet. So I would just click action, and then the action would be a spreadsheet action.
Sorry, Molly, I actually wanted to just go back to the flow ones and just kind of, if I may say so, dumb this down for us mere mortals so that we can kind of understand this slightly better. This is the exact flow that you've used, and the output for this is how it ends up being on the Messenger experience that we just saw a couple of minutes ago, right?
Exactly.
So that's very simple. If you can just zoom in a little on this, I can actually just take them through it again. If we start from the first step is where that's the entry point. So that is two ways. One is you can actually give out a Messenger URL to people. No, the step before this. Yeah, perfect. So the referral URL is the URL that you can give out to people. So let's say I send out an email with that URL. People click on it, they come back to the Messenger experience. Or they can actually comment on one of the posts as Molly did. And again, the bot gets triggered, right? Now,
as soon as I can pick any post, if I do this, now it will work with this specific post.
Got it.
And you can also set it so that it works on all posts.
Got it. Now, once they come into the Messenger experience, you have a welcome message, which is fairly simple. And you've got two buttons there, which is get reminders, or you can go and watch past shows.
And I also have the PS, which says if you want to stop chatting here.
Yeah, that's necessary actually. So
it's compliance.
Yeah, perfect. Now, as soon as they click on that, if they click on, let's say, the get reminder button, they get taken to that's the first action. So they've confirmed that, and then from that point in time, you basically send them a message for the OTN, which is here. You know what? Are you giving us authorization to send you a reminder for this?
And just to be clear, the OTN, when you first click send a message, you'll get a regular message box. The OTN is this little guy down here. So you have to actually bring that up into here to set up the OTN.
Got it. Okay. Once they click on that, they basically will get, they're actually done when it comes to just getting notified. They don't have to take any more actions. 15 minutes or 1 hour before the show, whenever, basis whatever you've set that to, you can send them a reminder, and then, they can actually come and catch the live, correct? Yep. And from that point on, you can also choose to do what you want to do. You can have more steps in front of this, wherein you can say that, okay, I want to send them show notes about 15 minutes after the show gets done.
Our show notes is a totally different flow. So that's the reminder flow. And then the show note flow is this flow, which this one doesn't have the OTN on it, but the show notes, it does have the OTN on it. Man, I'm good. So, Oh, that's not the show notes flow. Sorry. The show notes flow is here. So the show notes flow is going to actually allow them to get access to the show notes. So if you want the show notes, you go to the show notes. This gets you the show notes. If you want the masterclass, there's all these different things. So we really don't have time to go into all that, but there's different types of things that you can do. We do the show note part of it while they're on the live video. They opt in for the show notes. So that's a way to reopen that conversation again.
Awesome. So that just basically opens up. So you can make this as complex or as easy. The flow that you just saw, and the reason why I actually went through that again was because we actually saw it live about 10 minutes ago, right? And that's like the simplest form of what you want to do, wherein you send them, you basically get them into your Messenger experience. You can do that via the referral URL. You can send them a welcome message. You can give them a couple of options, or one option if you want to just, take them to that. And the second option by default will need to be that, hey, I don't want to receive any more messages, right?
And on our broadcast, we always send that too. Yeah.
Correct. And that's a mandate from a GDPR compliance perspective. When they click on the first message, you can then kind of send them the OTN so that they can give you the authorization to send them a reminder. And from that point in time, you have a 24-hour window to basically keep sending them messages, right?
Yep.
Awesome. Molly, I think that's as much ground we could cover. I have a quick question. Where can people go to find foundational information about ManyChat so that they can just get a bit more information and get there?
Two things that will be really helpful for you. One is if you go to molly.live/chat, I actually have a blog post that I wrote for ManyChat about how to use SMS and messenger reminders. The OTN piece isn't described in there. I'm going to actually have them update it with the OTN stuff, but you can just Google OTNs. You can find that. But the blog post for ManyChat walks through every single step of what we talked about today with screenshots and everything. I also have something that I call the Map to Million Starter Kit, which has a full video walkthrough that's super detailed about what to put in your videos, the whole process, and a video content planner, a bunch of other things. If you go to molly.live, just straight up molly.live, you'll be able to get that. So I would go to both of those because they're real good.
Okay, so that's fairly simple. You go to molly.live, and the other one is just molly.live/chat.
Yep.
That's the link for the blog. We will obviously, Payal will drop these in the comments for this live. But I'm
awesome. And I see there's been some questions here. I'll come back and answer the questions. I have to run because my family's leaving.
Don't worry about it. I'm going to be on the comments, so I'm going to reply to a few of these. And Molly is on the community, so she'll come back and cater to these questions.
Amazing. So grateful. I know it seems like, whoa, a lot, but I'm telling you, like, once you get in there and get the rhythm of it, it becomes really fun, actually.
Yep. Awesome. Super awesome, Molly. This is probably been one of our favorite episodes. I know a lot of people are going to have a lot of value from this. Thanks a lot for doing this.
Thank you.
I'm going to come back next week with a whole bunch of other masterclasses, but for now, I have to bid goodbye because I want to basically let Molly go. Okay.
Thank you so much. We'll be back soon. And I'm looking forward to the challenge that we do at the end of the month.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm going to hop off.
Bye. Bye, guys.